Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have William. William is a left behind and forward moving spouse with a bomb drop of May 24th, 2022 and a date of marriage of 2004. He has a boomerang who is a high energy replayer. William says, my wife had fibromyalgia for 8 years and we prayed for healing. She went through depression after a series of terribly disappointing circumstances. She then met somebody. In her words, when she decided to leave me, her pain disappeared. I believe that the dopamine and norepinephrine spike associated with limerence temporarily cured her fibromyalgia, but now she blames it on me. Has this happened to others? So for your basic question, has it happened to others? I don't know. So what I'm going to suggest you do, William, is go into the Facebook page and start a post asking. And I wouldn't keep it to fibromyalgia, keep it to medical problems. Has any of your MLCers had a chronic or ongoing medical problem that stopped when they started MLC, and do they blame it on you? And you might want to know, just has it stopped and do they not blame it on you? Has it stopped and do they blame it on you? Look at both of those. Now, let's just talk for a moment about the dopamine and norepinephrine and her fibromyalgia. Is that something? Yeah, it definitely could be. A very quick Google search, just saying, can dopamine relieve fibromyalgia? I only looked it up for dopamine just to see what I could find. And I found some, yeah. Just so do that. Let me see. Does low dopamine, one said, people asked, does low dopamine cause fibromyalgia? In control subjects, the amount of dopamine released correlated with the amount of perceived pain. But in fibromyalgia patients, there was not that correlation. And it says no such correlation was observed. These findings provide the first direct evidence that fibromyalgia patients have an abnormal dopamine response to pain. I would read more on that because the first sentence, I thought it said the opposite. So I would click through and read that. That is a PubMed article. Another one, does lack of dopamine cause chronic pain? And this is just, I haven't even clicked off of the search results where it has the little carrots and you can open up for a little bit more of the article that before you click through. A newly published, and I don't know when this was, so it says newly published when that was written. A newly published study found that dopamine is integral to how pain becomes chronic. This could lead to further insights into help treat fibromyalgia and other chronic pain conditions. Chronic pain is hard to treat and even harder to explain. In the brainstem, various pain modulators control how the body perceives pain. And I would click through and read more on that one as well. So yes, there could be a correlation. So what should you do about that? Well, you don't really get to say that's not true in that kind of way when she accuses you. She's feeling this way. To her, this is a causal thing. She's with you, she's in pain. She's not with you, she's not in pain. Clear linkage. I mean, there are a ton of different variables that can go on. But to her, that's clear linkage. And I know, I'm with you. It's not a clear linkage. But there is a clear linkage in that something associated with her not being with you anymore, and so associated with being with somebody else, has changed her body chemistry. Doesn't mean it's your fault at all. Doesn't mean that being with you is causing any of it. You're right. So what do you say to that? First thing, you validate. You validate the feeling that, and so you're speaking to her and she says, it's your fault, blah, blah, blah. Whether she says it yelling or sadly or whatever, it's your fault. First, I want you to look empathetic. I want you to be empathetic. I want you to feel the sadness for her, because it is. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. Now, you're not saying, I'm sorry that I did that to you. That would be acknowledging that what she says is true. So you want to make sure that if you left it, I'm sorry you feel that way, she can twist that and say, think that you're accepting it. Sorry you feel that way. Now, I don't like comma buts because what it means is saying, ignore everything I just said. But we're going to use a comma but because we're not saying it is that way. And we don't want that to be misconstrued. MLCers will twist it anyway. So you say, I'm sorry that you'll feel that way. But what are you going to do when the dopamine highs wear off with this relationship and your pain. I hope, and don't say and your pain comes back, because what if it doesn't? I mean, maybe some, other changes in life and her body changes. You can go through something and it doesn't come back. So I'm sorry you feel that way. What are you going to do when the dopamine wears off from the newness of this relationship or the excitingness? Then I hope your pain doesn't come back. Now say it. Now you are obviously linking. Say you're giving an implication that she can infer, your pain's going to come back. Or more likely your pain might come back. It might. And you just have to wait and see. But basically what you're saying is the highs of this relationship aren't going to last. And you're saying the highs, the chemicals that are created by this high, might possibly be the reason you're not experiencing your pain anymore. But you don't say it overtly, but you aren't being that covert about it as well. But you root it in empathy. This isn't a snide comment. It is a truth dart. But it's not, but to be snide has to have a different tone to it. Because do you really want her pain to come back? There may be a part of you that does, not because you're cruel, but because you want the realization of it. Not because of karma even. But, I guess that wasn't so. So that she can fully understand that you weren't the cause of it. Even without you, she can have pain. I get that. But in the sense of, do you want somebody to be in pain? No. And so you say it, I hope your pain doesn't come back. Not, I hope your pain doesn't come back when this is all over. Big difference, same words. So think about that. Find some sort of phrasing if you want to do a truth dart like that. You don't have to. Validate the feelings though. But everything is rooted in, you use a soft voice, in empathy. It's not pity, but it's concern and care. I'm so sorry you feel this was my fault. You could even go, and I recommend the other one. This is one I recommend more often, but in this situation, but you know that's not true. Then you add the other part. What are you going to do when the dopamine highs from this new relationship wear off? I just hope your fibromyalgia doesn't reappear. Definitely not. And the pain comes back, because then you're linking it as it will definitely come back. And that would, we don't want that. Okay? Try that. Post on the forum. See if other people have the same experience. What you might find is women whose MLCer has ED, and they don't have it anymore. But there are other conditions as well. Okay? Good luck. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see everybody in the next question.